Hey, Raider Nation! This isn't your regular Raiders update. Today's news might just shake things up. I'm your host, and something really interesting happened in the NFL that could quietly open the door for a surprise move from our Raiders. Hear me out. Earlier today, the Carolina Panthers did something unexpected. They released Jadeveon Clowney. Yes, that Clowney. The former number one. One pick who had 5.5 sacks last season. Not bad, right? Should the Las Vegas Raiders sign Jadeveon Clowney? Type sign if you're all in, or pass if you think we're good without him. Personally, I think this could be one of those smart, low risk moves that actually works out. But I'll tell you exactly where I stand in just a minute. If I were in Pete Carroll's shoes right now, or even calling the shots for the Raiders, I'd at least make a call about Jadeveon Clowney. Now, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't hand him a huge paycheck. I'm thinking maybe $4 to $5 million, plus a few performance based bonuses. Why? Because I need to see results. If he's not pressuring the quarterback, that's a problem. But here's what keeps me interested. Clowney has 15 sacks over the past 2 seasons. That's not nothing. And while people often knock him for never hitting double-digit sack numbers, he's been consistently solid for years. We all remember that monster hit he delivered back in his South Carolina days. It made him the number one. One overall pick for a reason. Last season, even on a struggling Panthers squad, Clowney still managed 46 total tackles, 5.5 sacks, 9 tackles for loss. That's not bad for a team that barely held itself together. The Panthers didn't cut him because he was bad, they cut him to save money during a rebuild. And while the Raiders are in their own version of a mini rebuild, they're also trying to win now. So if you're telling me I can grab a guy like Clowney, who's tough in the run game and still has enough burst to get to the QB for a decent price, I'm in. And let's not forget what the Raiders coaching staff has done before. Remember K'Lavon Chaisson? He came in from Carolina with tons of potential, and under Rob Leonard's coaching, became a 5-sack, 32-tackle player. That's not just talent, that's development. So don't just look at this like, should we sign Clowney? Ask this instead. Do we have Rob Leonard? Do we have Patrick Graham? Are we still searching for that Chaisson-type replacement? Now here's the kicker. Connections matter in the NFL. They always do. And guess who Clowney played under in 2019 with the Seahawks? That's right, Pete Carroll. That season, Clowney had 31 tackles, 3 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 2 defensive touchdowns, including a pick 6. According to PFF, Pro Football Focus that year, in 650 snaps. Overall grade, 87.3. Pass rush, 79.1. Run defense, 80.8. That's elite level production. And if you're still wondering if he's worth a call, go back and watch his 2019 tape. The man was everywhere. Clowney's had 15 sacks over the past 2 seasons. Solid production. Sure, he's never had a double-digit sack season, and we all remember that monster hit at South Carolina. But here's what matters. Last season with Carolina, one of the worst teams in the league, he still put up 46 tackles, 5.5 sacks, and 9 tackles for loss. That's not just decent, that's valuable. Carolina let him go mostly to save money and rebuild. But the Raiders, they're trying to win, and win now. Why Clowney still has value? Clowney is consistent in the run game. He still gets after the quarterback. You don't need to give him a massive contract. Give him $4 to $5 million with bonuses. He's worth a shot. And hey, the Raiders were high on K'Lavon Chaisson. Remember that. A guy who had potential but hadn't delivered. Rob Leonard turned him into a solid piece with 5 sacks and 32 tackles. So don't just think Clowney. Think Rob Leonard's coaching, Patrick Graham's defense, finding another Chaisson-type value. Relationships matter. Here's the big one, relationships. Clowney played for Pete Carroll in Seattle back in 2019. And guess what? That year, he had 31 tackles, 3 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick 6, 1 fumble recovery. He was a game changer. Pro Football Focus, PFF, graded him with an 87.3 overall, 79.1 pass rush, and 80.8 run defense in 650 snaps. So if Carroll's last memory of Clowney is 2019, that memory's a good one. Money talks, and we have it. Look, I get it. We've got other priorities. Extend Colton Miller, extend Jacoby Myers. That comes first. But with $36.8 million in cap space, fifth most in the league, you can afford Clowney. And don't forget, the Raiders were interested in Jalen Walker. They've been hunting for a true edge rusher all offseason. Clowney fits that need perfectly. Competition. Clowney could push Tyree Wilson to another level. When Wilson came out of college, people compared him to, you guessed it, Clowney. Tall, long, athletic, explosive. Imagine Clowney mentoring him, guiding him, competing with him. That could bring out the best in Wilson. And if Wilson starts playing like the number 7 overall pick, the Raiders might just have the best defense in the NFL. Now that is a $5 million well spent. Now let's talk about Zamir White. Something happened today that makes me think. Could the Raiders actually trade him? Zamir White. News broke that Panthers rookie RB Jonathan Brooks, a top prospect from Texas, tore his ACL last year and won't be ready for the 2025 season. That leaves Carolina with Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle as their top backs. They also drafted ETN, but still, they're thin. Now here's the interesting part. Zamir White grew up just 2 hours away from Bank of America Stadium. He spends every offseason back home with his horses on his ranch. Family is everything to him. So think about it. Carolina is the perfect fit. And let's be real, he's not getting touches in Vegas. The Raiders drafted Ashton Jeanty, and Zeus is likely a free agent next year. You think he wants to sit on the bench in Vegas? Or go home to Carolina, play football, and be near family? If I'm Pete Carroll or GM John Spyak, I'm picking up the phone and calling Carolina. I'm only asking for a 7th-round pick. That's all you're realistically getting. But you also save $1.1 million in cap space. And what can you do with that $1.1 million? You use it towards signing Jadeveon Clowney, a player who will actually help the Raiders win games this season. Let's be honest, if Zamir White is seeing the field in 2025, something has gone terribly wrong. So, yeah, trade him, free up the money, and go get a guy who can make a real difference. Look, there's just no reason for Zamir White, aka Zeus, to be on the field this year. So why not do the smart thing now and trade him for a 7th-round pick? It would be a respectful, clean break. A handshake, and we move on. The last thing this team needs is more running back drama. We all remember the Josh Jacobs situation. It's still a topic because of how it played out. Let's not repeat history. Let's do right by Zamir. Give him a chance to play somewhere he's wanted, while saving money and avoiding unnecessary locker room tension. It's a win-win for both sides. Now on a lighter note, starting May 16th, we're launching some Madden live streams for the offseason.